morning, I'm Sarah Bailey.
And I'm Dakota Morgan.
We start today's show with a look at the upcoming bond issue. A proposal by the Rose Hill High School Board that goes to vote by community members on November 7th. Dakota has the story.
Recently in Rose Hill history, a bond issue arose proposing new expansions to programs and buildings within the Rose Hill area. These proposals have been contested by some and praised by others. We've spoken to Shannon Haydock and asked his opinion on the issue.
I think it's good to have input, and I think the input came from the Board of Education after a list of items had been submitted, and they went with what they thought was best. So I think it's good that there's input from more than one. So it's not it wouldn't be good for one person to just dictate where the money was going or what needed to be fixed and that kind of thing. What project was more important than the other. So, I think the process was pretty good in that aspect.
Over the years, Mr. Haydock has been pushing for upgrades to the men's locker room. In this clip, he expresses his excitement at that exact proposal.
I've been a proponent of enhancing the boys' non-varsity locker rooms and trying to get the outdated and beat up lockers out of there and trying to get new lockers and so students can have more space, more security, and more pride in what's in there versus what's in there now. So I really like the aspect of the new locker room upgrades.
Stay tuned for an informative interview with Rose Hill's own Superintendent Randall Chickadons. Dakota Morgan, Channel 7 News.
Recently, the Rose Hill High School marching band traveled to Kansas State for a regional competition, wherein they received the highest score possible. Chad Thompson has the story on the band's success.
On October 7th, the band went to Manhattan Band Festival and received a 1 rating, the best you can receive. We asked Mr. Schultz what his thoughts were on the performance.
There are always things, small details that we want to fix as we improve on ourselves and improve the performance. But the judges' scores do show that we performed at a level that we needed to for this type of competition. The small details that we could have improved on, I think mainly are just sound production, being louder as a band of 75 to compete with the groups that are maybe 200. Just putting out more sound would have been something that would have been nice for such a large stadium.
There were major components into winning the 1 rating as well. We asked Mr. Schultz what the key components were that got them the 1 rating.
I feel that our diligence in rehearsal and our intensity that we rehearse and ask the kids to perform at daily kind of trains them to perform at that level at the competition. It also has a little bit to do with coming into an arena that size. 50,000 seats in Bill Snyder Stadium is a large space, and it puts the pressure on the kids, and they want to do well at that point. And they know the pressure's on, so having a little bit of fire lit under them, being in that arena, does help and does increase their awareness of what's going on the field and lets them perform at the level that we did.
Chad Thompson, Channel 7 News.
Last weekend was Rose Hill's Fall Fest, a time full of rich tradition and great fun for the entire city. Aislinn Robert went out to find the most interesting aspect of this year's Fall Fest.
Fall Fest is a fun weekend put on by the Rose Hill community for citizens of all ages to enjoy. One of the most popular festivities at Fall Fest is the craft show in the multipurpose building, which features a wide variety of projects and crafts put on by members of the community. Among the most interesting attractions at the craft show was Rose Hillopoly, a project created by Project Graduation, which is a fun twist on Monopoly. Hannah and Kelly Farber were at the booth representing Project Grad.
I am a senior at Rose Hill High School, and we are selling Rose Hillopoly for the Project Graduation.
And then we've also got wreath sales, and all the proceeds go towards the Project Grad party at the end of the year for the students after they graduate.
They went on to tell us about creating a project that advertises the community of Rose Hill.
Yes, this is a great money maker. We just basically went out to all the businesses in town, and each of them bought a square. We also have a square in memory of Charlie Futhy and Reese Naylor, freshman at Rose Hill High. So anyway, we just got that together, and that kind of paid for the board, and now all of the games that we're selling all go towards Project Grad. So it's all pure profit at this point.
Aislinn Robert, Channel 7 News.
After a commercial break, is there a controversy with the early college academies? We'll take a look. And
later, stay tuned for our sit-down with Rose Hill District Superintendent Randall Chigadons about the upcoming bond issues. Stay with us.
welcome back. Since 2009, when the first early college academy was started, there has been a controversy surrounding the academy's relationship with the high school. Sarah recently asked high school staff members their thoughts on the academies.
Early College Academy is located in the Butler wing of the high school. While some see the program as a great benefit to students looking to get ahead in their education, others, such as many members of the high school faculty, are less enthusiastic. We spoke to FACS teacher Becky Evans about her feelings on the academies.
I think there's a lack of communication between the academy teachers and the high school teachers, and kind of making sure the kids can still participate in high school activities. For example, Community Service Day, we had a handful of kids who could not participate because their academy teachers would not let them out of class. So that was very disappointing.
Evans went on to raise concerns on how academy classes receive funding from the state that similar high school classes do not.
I think I'm not so concerned about my classes because the academies don't really teach those classes. The ones that I've seen are the Mr. Treat's entrepreneurship classes that they've taken from his class, and he is a true entrepreneur. I mean, like, he could really teach the kids what it means to start your own business and make things happen. Mrs. Segovia's Human A&P class, I mean, we know she's probably one of the best teachers that we have, and her numbers are shrinking every year. And so I'm sad that kids are taking those at the academy and they're not taking it from her. Or those are the two business classes. I think they've got that entrepreneurship academy, and kids are leaving our business classes.
We spoke to Assistant Principal Aaron Jackson, who had a much more positive outlook on the academies, as well as how it personally ties to his family.
Well, I think the academies offer our kids a lot of different choices that we don't have here. For instance, my daughter Lauren's in the Health Academy, and it's allowing her to basically get a year and a half under her belt so she can get out in the workforce even earlier. I mean, she's wanting to go into med school and stuff and follow her mom's footsteps. And so, that's allowing her that avenue to take some of those classes that she won't have to take up at K-State when she goes there.
Jackson feels like the positives outweigh any negatives that are perceived about the academies. He thinks they build a solid foundation for students in the future.
Oh, there's negative sides to it, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives. Some of those kids aren't as I guess you could say involved in some of the high school activities because they're taking some of those courses there. But the kids that have gone through those programs previously and have graduated, gone on to four-year institutions or continue to at Butler and taking classes there as well. Those kids have been very successful in that they aren't dropping out after the first or second year.
Sarah Bailey, Channel 7 News.
The City Council race has a Rose Hill High School flavor to it this year, as Rochelle Wright, who substitutes often in the district, is one of our 4 candidates. The election is in November, and citizens of Rose Hill can spot Wright's yard signs throughout the town. According to her husband Bill, who has taught at the high school for many years, Rochelle has an emotional investment in Rose Hill, which led to her running for council this year.
You know, she's always kind of thought that if you're a person that can make a difference and you think you can make a positive difference, then you need to go support your community and try to help it out.
Next month's bond issue intends to pay for the construction of 2 additional classrooms in the Butler wing of the high school. My interview with Superintendent Randall Chickadons is up next, so stay with us.
Welcome back. I'm here with Rose Hill Superintendent Randall Chickadons to talk about the upcoming bond. Now, for those who don't know, could you talk a little bit about what exactly the bond is?
Yeah. The project it's actually $10 million worth of projects that we've identified. They cover a wide range across the district, and so there's a lot of smaller projects involved, so it's not just one big project. The board took a look at really the projects fell into about 4 different areas. In 2004, we completed our last bond project, and we certainly had more needs than what we had monies for at that point. So they went back to that list and identified some of the projects that weren't completed from the 2004 bond. So we've got some projects on there for that, like the middle school shower physical education area update. Some of we've got some road pavings in there. So some of the things that came off of that weren't completed in the 2004 bond. Also, we looked at areas of efficiency, some things that we could probably do to help us save a little bit of monies in the district. Some changing out some lights to some LED fixtures. We entered an efficiency lease several years ago, and moving that into the bond dollars will get us a better interest rate and free up some capital dollars for us to use on an ongoing annual basis. Also looked at areas of safety. This bond would cover projects that would install secured entryways at all of the educational buildings, as well as cameras across the district, so we have security cameras in place. And then the board has a goal. They've set a goal a couple years ago. They have a board goal of providing innovative programming. And specifically 2 areas of action to meet that goal was preschool offerings. And so this bond would add an additional preschool wing at the elementary school for some additional classroom spaces and to put that program into one area. And then it also identifies the high school academies as an innovative programming offering, and so this would offer some additional space there as that program starts to grow.
All right, so you mentioned the 2004 bond. Could you talk a little bit about what exactly we did during that, what exactly happened, what was built, what were the projects?
Yeah, in 2004, the community approved almost about a $25 million bond project. And the major projects that came out of that was the new elementary school, was a new academic wing at the middle school, And then we added the competition gymnasium, which opened and freed some classroom, weight room space there at the high school, as well as renovated the district sports stadium. So those are probably the key elements of that 2004 bond.
All right. Certain citizens of Rose Hill are concerned with the developments proposed in this bond, such as the construction of a new preschool. And a lot of people are thinking that there's really no need for a new preschool because of programs like We Rock. It's over, I do believe it's just right around the corner from this building, in fact, isn't it?
Sure. Well, all I can say about those, certainly community members can have their opinions. I mean, that's certainly going to happen. We'll have pros and cons on both sides of that. But I would say that we did a survey of the communities to see if there was support for additions to the preschool, and the responses we got back from our survey indicated that there was good support for that. And so expanding that preschool program came from support from the community as a whole already. And so when we take a look at that this year, we already, from that survey, we expanded our preschool offerings from 1 classroom to 2 already. And so what we're looking at is that program now happens in classrooms that we just happen to have available. So we've got preschool programming taking place in spaces that are just, one of them's in the intermediate school, one's in the primary school, one's in the shared spaces that they have. We also have early childhood education, special education classrooms down in the kindergarten pod. And so we're offering the programming already, and again, based off of the support for expansion of that through that survey, we believe that program will continue to grow. And so this bond proposal would just house all of those services into one space. Instead of hodgepodging it wherever we can find a space for them, this will actually give them a program space to be housed in.
All right. Another project that the bond is proposing is the expansion of the Butler wing of the high school. Now, could you go into detail on the relationship between the Butler wing of the high school and the high school itself, and why the board decided to make these expansions?
Yeah, I said the board has a goal of innovative program offerings. They want to see programs being offered for high school students, or really across the district, but the one at the high school is that they focused on is the academies. Academies started off with a partnership with Butler Community College. Basically, we offer a cohort group working through career fields of interest that provide kids an opportunity to get college and high school credits at the same time, dual credit. We started off about 8 years ago in that partnership. The first academy was the Health Academy here at Rose Hill, had 7 students in it. And that program, the academy program, has now grown to include 7 or 8 different academies and over almost 200 students in those academies. And so Butler County has committed to that delivery model, the academy delivery model, and for our students, we've got kids that are now going from graduating from high school. The same weekend, we'll see them graduating high school with their high school diploma and their associate's degree from Butler County. So I think that program gives kids a leg up, and it has proven to be very successful in the participation that's going on there, as well as the transferring from that program into other post-secondary institutions is a high rate of transfer. The scholarships that the students in that program have garnered are over $1 million worth of scholarships in the last couple of years. So I think there's great opportunity for kids in that area.
All right. And to conclude the questions, is there any statement you'd like to make about this in general, just your opinion on it?
Well, unfortunately, I can't give much of an opinion. That one of the things that we can't do from a school standpoint is provide a direction for voters. All we're able to do is provide information in the project. And so we'll be doing a few more community town hall meetings. And so we'll invite the community to come to some of those. think we're looking at October the 19th and October the 30th at the high school for additional meetings. If the public's interested, come listen about the information. So we'll do informational meetings at the high school on those dates. Appreciate you coming in and giving us an opportunity to talk about it here as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Chickadons. Charlie Conroy is up next with the weather.
Welcome back. I'm Charlie Conroy, and here is your Channel 7 weather. It's going to be a cloudy day across south central Kansas as highs will reach the high 70s with strong south winds that will reach 25 miles per hour today. Later this evening comes in with low 70s and being slightly cloudy with 22 mile per hour winds. The rain chance is a slight 20%. This should be a tough night for the Rockets football with the high winds. Starting off this weekend, there will be fierce thunderstorms. Through the weekend, there will be low 70s and even stooping down to the low 40s. Sunday, the storms will go away and the sun will come out, starting out the new weekend. The temperature will stay about the same for the whole week, but will cool down later in the week, especially Friday with a high of 57. Skylar Brown has your sport updates coming up next. We'll be right back.
The Rockets soccer team now has a record of 9-6-1, which is a 3-win improvement from last year as they head into the postseason. They have won 2 out of their last 3 games, including a 2-0 win over Augusta. Senior Tanner Williams scored one of the goals, which came off an assist from freshman Caden Dinkle. The Rockets fell to Andover Central before defeating Mulvane in the regular season finale Tuesday night, 8-0. Dinkle and senior Peyton Austin each scored 2 goals, as the Rockets jumped out to a 6-0 halftime lead. Regional play starts Tuesday, and the Rockets will most likely start on the road. Make sure to check Rocket Athletics for more information on their regional opponent. The Rocket volleyball team concluded the regular season with wins over Mulvane and Andale Tuesday night. The Rockets, which are now 35-3, head to Chanute tomorrow for Sub-State with Andover Central, Augusta, and the host, Chanute. Follow the Rocket Athletics on Twitter for updates throughout the day. The Rocket football team fell to Andover Central 34-13 last Friday. Cody Wallace scored a touchdown late in the second quarter to tie the score at 7-7. But that would not be enough for the Rockets, who are 1-6 and take on May South tonight. 4 Rocket runners were selected all-league second team in cross country. Trin Moose, Sage Nottingham, Maddie Bryant, and Nicole Picard received the honors for the Rockets, who have regional play tomorrow at El Dorado. Sarah and Dakota, back to you. That's all for today. We'll see you next weekend. Thank you for watching Channel 7 News.